Shirley, I'm going to take some shoes. Well, I said everybody. I want everybody to go to Mexico.
I want to go to Mexico.
Okay, let's hear you, Susan.
I'm Susan, and I want to go to Shirley to Mexico. She's taking some shoes. I'm taking my socks.
You can go.
Thank you.
You can go. I said no, no, no. Yes. That's not it. Okay.
And I have not done this before. I want y'all to.
Socks. Well, uh, okay, so what's your name? Dennis. So Dennis, you can take something that starts with the letter D. Shirley, shoes, Susan, socks.
Okay, I mean,
Take dinner.
I'm
Take, you know,
I
whatever.
get into this computer. Check it out.
So, somebody say,
Into the
so, and sometimes leaders are not, we don't know, you don't know what we want. So, you didn't know what I want, that's all.
That's what about?
So, all I know that I'm going to Mexico, I want you to go with me. I said, I'm Shirley, and I'm taking you. And I could have said what I really could. I could have said, I need you to introduce yourself and then tell me what you're going to say. And it has to begin with the first letter of your name. But I didn't do that. I wasn't clear. And sometimes as leaders, we're not clear. So people don't know what we want. So then when they don't know what we want, you know, I always say, in the absence of knowledge, don't make up stuff. So sometimes when people aren't sure, they won't. They can't say what you want. That would work for people. But that about. And so I tell you, I didn't give you the instructions on the paper. I just said, I had something on the paper, and then I said, what do you see? And you all were very creative in your answers, and they made sense. But making sense doesn't necessarily mean that that's, does that make sense? So to be clear, we gotta be very clear about what we're doing. We gotta be very specific. So in terms of where we're gonna go with that, so that is the direction that we're gonna go in. Not only reflect on what it is that the church's mission is, that the church is, what's the vision for the church, but in your individual ministry, what is your exact role? You know, I always say, and I did the languages because I speak 7 languages. So sometimes I'll say something like, what's your raison d'etre? What's your reason for being? Or let's put it more simply and say, when you're sitting here tonight, because when I got ready to leave home, my sister said, you done a training at night? And I said, yes. She said, do the people work? Are they coming to the training after work? She said, oh, I can somehow that's gonna go. So I don't need it, but that's what this is the time to see. So I'm here. Hey, why? What's your why? About your why? I know that you're all disciples of Christ because you're committed to working with a ministry. And we all asked to be disciples. But what's your why when you think of the ministry for which you work? What's your reason for being in existence? Because you could very easily say pastor, or executive assistant, co-pastor, whatever. But why do we have the ministry? Why do the ministries exist? Because you are as a whole. And it's what we're going to do. How do we contribute? So I don't know who belongs to what ministry. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on the spot. So let me just ask, anybody want to volunteer, tell me what ministry you're on, what's, what do you do? You don't have to fix that. My dad said, you ain't got to pretty it up. Tell me what you do. So, these are anybody want to tell me? No. Nobody. So, well, you know, if you don't volunteer, you won't get volunteered. Hey, come on, Dad, tell me. Dennis, I'll repeat. Okay, Dennis, come on, tell me. Okay, but let's just choose one. Okay, you directed one. So let's go back. You told me direct. You're responsible for get ready. That's the first. In the your role, with your role.
Just making observations, suggestions on how to improve what, how we can make it better.
Exactly. And you know, some people go to church just for the music, just for the things of the company. Doesn't necessarily always have to be about the pastor's work. It's sometimes for those things of the company. You know, like I said, I grew up in the church. I met a man who had not been to church. And he fell in love with just the music. And if the music wasn't good, he didn't want to know. He was like, I mean, I want to go to that church where the music is good on that. Why you even play it? So, but I love the music. I went to a homegoing, celebration of life earlier today, and the music was just absolutely wonderful. And so, you know, I was sitting there thinking, like, what would it be without the music? And, you know, the minister did a very excellent, his word was inspiring. He did Psalm 91, my favorite. But the music was just, you know, so. And everybody is not coming in person. So then how do we get the message? How do we do this and everything? So very important. About sir. Yes, Minister. Tell me about that.
It's, it's called Sons of Adam, and that's we do our men's season, which we are organizing now, and I currently host boxing for the youth every Friday.
It's good. It touch base with them on some of that interest to get them into. You know, I'm so interested in the men's ministry because Bob remembers in USA Today wrote that men are absent, especially black men, absent from home, they're absent from the schools, they're absent from the church. So we need to talk about what is it that we can do because if our boys don't see exactly what it is to be a man in the church.
Right?
So we what is so your men very important, very neatly put into package. Is to get and I'm gonna start with the youth, and I'm gonna touch them where those things that they're interested in. I love it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Somebody else. You're in college, that's right. You saw I got to okay. Okay. Did you answer for what am I about to say? We do also. It's very important. You know, the minister today at the homegoing service talked about health as well. And he said, I mean, you know, you start, people look at this money, but if you're not healthy, it doesn't mean nothing better. And so we talk about being healthy. And I, as a principal, I had to learn CPR. And I was like, why do I have to learn CPR? And they said, well, in case you need to save somebody. Wait a minute, now I have to think about this. That was the first one I think I've been doing. I'm resuscitation. And then I'm going to cut that out there. Think somebody else. And it was another piece. That was CPR. And a year ago, and again, so yeah, how do we stay healthy? So that's very good. Somebody else can mention. Okay, what do you do? You were trying to pick. Like it, we got so many things. Okay. Okay. So let's just take one. I'm storage, okay? Yes. Your comment, but I like the way you explained it as the store board. You're sort of like the pastor's council. If you were the president, you would be Congress. So you would be, you know, the ones help in terms of guidance, different you mentioned several different things in there. So I appreciate that. So yes. Okay. Thank you for volunteering. I love it. You have a place. I started teaching when I was 20 years old. So you're looking at the fact that so makes cards with the name organization. That's what you gotta help. I'm not gonna know who's who. And so she told me somebody's here from the late organization. Where's the late organization? Okay, so just say my name. What does the lay organization do? The lay organization also something structured that is not the lay, but the lay. Okay, thank you for that very clear. And then the sons of Allen, that was the gentleman that's you, okay? So I want you to hold on to your card. And then will you do me a favor, since I'm going to stay at the microphone, will you give this to the young lady for the lay organization? What about, and then the young people's division. So that's yours, okay? Thank you so much. The Women's Missionary Society.
The Women's Missionary Society lead is online.
Okay.
But she's at home resting, so she's unable to be here with us.
And the trust board. Okay, so I'm going to take that. Thank you very much. And the auto tech, you tell me that. That's you. Right here. That's the gentleman. Okay. Worship arts.
There's several people here from
Okay.
that.
Anybody else other than anybody from worship arts department? All of the departments. Okay, we just gonna do that tape. The Stewardship and Finance Commission. Lord,
She gave two, I couldn't hear.
the assistant pastor.
Ain't that stuff?
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, no.
You do, girl. Since I moved really away from it. First, up on the screen. So I want to go to the next slide, and I just want you to, I want to talk to you if you will allow me to, talk to you for this. So that's why I'm going to call visionary leaders, architects of change. And remember, we started off by me asking you, what was your vision? And what did I say the vision is? Okay, the vision, what did I say? It's what, how you what? You see that something as it can become. That's your vision. Where do you see us going? Exactly. Thank you. So the vision is, how do you see Allen Temple? Where do you see Allen Temple AME in the future? Do you want to stay the same, or what do you see it? How do you see it? And so vision means, I talked to you about it, a leader's job, and that would be you, Dr. Susan.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
leader's job, but it's also your job. Those who are sitting here, is to look into the future and see the organization not as it is, but as it can become. So let's pause on that. So I heard you tell me that to get them, because when you go, there's some churches where you go and where the youth are not as involved as you would like them to be. They're present, but we don't feel that presence. And so the same thing when we start talking about, why would you want to, if whatever organization you're working for, is it where you want it to be? Can you say that it's the top, it's the number one? So the vision leader to see the organization not as it is, but as it can become. Susan introduced me by saying, and thank you, Susan, for the compliment of she never said that to me, that she enjoyed working there and like her growth and everything. And I do remember about her coming back. What am I doing? We started talking about, that's the same thing with all of you sitting in this room. Susan can't do it all. And so what we have to do is to embrace the vision for Allen Temple. And then decide for your own individual ministries. What is it that you look into the future and see? Not as you are right now, but where do you see where you want to be? If you could just, what would be happening? But as it can become. Next slide, please. So greatness, I always see, my pastor talks about this all the time. And people always say, well, you go to Word, baby. Y'all out there in that big old cathedral and everything. That's not where we started. That is not where we started. That is not where we started. And I tell you, what you don't know is that Word of Faith started with 50 charter members. And I was one of those charter members. But when I first came under my pastor's supervision, I met my pastor as a student at Southwest High School. He started the PTL club at Southwest. Separation of churches. And then remember when he was 14 years old, and he said that he was going to become a Baptist. He was already one at that age. And he started talking about it. So greatness is not in where you stand, but the direction that you're moving in. He had already looked into the future to see what he could do. So, I'm sorry, right there with what? He loves to tell a story. Bible right side. He loves to tell a story. So she fell at his feet. Well, she did trip on Facebook. And she failed, no. And so she didn't, I guess she didn't really fall at his feet. But he said like she just was swooning over and everything, so we laughed about that. But sometimes you have to sail with the wind. You know, if you're out on the water and the wind blows and you're sailing, but sometimes you have to sail against it. And what does that mean? Sometimes it's going to be rough. Everybody, everything smooth as you have to work your way through it, but you still have to keep moving and see what you're going to run into obstacles. And so keep going though. Next slide. Go in different directions. We all have to be paddling on the same in the same way. I'm always amazed. You know, my husband's from Tampa, Florida. My daughter lives there now. And so whenever I go, I always stay in a hotel because my daughter wants to cook, clean, and do all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm retired. So when I go, I stay down at what they call Riverwalk, and it's right near the Tampa. And when I walk, I'm a walker. I've been walking for almost 50 years. I walk in the mornings. So when I walk, I always see that pattern, everybody's going in the same direction. And they do that because if everybody's pattern in different ways, they're going to just do what? Stand still, go around the circle. They're not going to move. So that's what this means. The fact that Dr. Susan can see the port and where you're going, doesn't matter if you guys can't see it too. Next slide. So the essence of leadership, what is the essence of leadership? And I really have to walk closer to that because I can't see it. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. So even though you're a leader, that doesn't mean that you are the only authority. That means that if you have a team working with you, you're going to, as a leader, you're going to listen to others. You're going to be able to work together and do what you're going to do. Next slide, please. So what difference does it make whether you're a good leader or not? Makes all the difference in the world. Susan would tell you that I went through a process at Washington High. You know, one thing I tell people, they say, well, you know, how did you move the school to where it is? I would tell you in the world, I did. Yeah, a greatest possible. And so when I went to Washington High, and I keep going back to Washington High because that's the basis of my training today, that I found a wounded bird. There was, the school looked like a prison. The walls were gray, there was nothing on the walls, no decorations. And I asked, why don't we decorate? Why don't we decorate? They said, these kids have to leave. These kids. I'm gonna let it stay up. They're gonna tear it down. And so, well, why do we have the plants on the halls? Why do we have the plants here? Because these kids not gonna let it stay. I said, you know what? I did the research. And most of these kids live in homes with their grandmothers. And there's not a black grandmother anywhere that I know of that doesn't have a picture of Jesus, Martin Luther King, and JFK. That's art. So why can't we have art on the walls? There's not a black grandmother that has those other Bonton's plants. So why can't we have plants on the wall? We sold ourselves short. We started talking about what we can't do. Let's talk about what can we do. What are the possibilities? Let's start with this. So you know what I did? I said, I need to start talking to these old folks. I start talking to the children. Come to school. What would make you do your work? What would make us get off this list of being the worst school in the city? And I started talking to them. So we started listening. And we said, we're going to, this what? You know what they told me? Give us a season pass to Six Flags. I said, okay. I hadn't had money to buy a model ticket, but said, okay, so if I get you a season pass, Six Flags, you gonna come to school? You gonna have perfect attendance? But what would it take to make the honor roll? Then they named something that we would ride in the limo. I don't have any limos, but who has more limos than anybody in the world? Their homes. They don't have their So, that's okay, we'll just limo. And we do this. Started Washington had to go on to a lot of stuff. They had the most loving, giving alumni organization I've ever seen in my life. They loved that city. And what anything that they went to for. So I tell them, my kids was going to this work. I'm just like, we came up with as a vision. So much so, I ain't gonna but we always want the best up. We just and we had to come up with a plan. And then we had to have not just me, but leaders in the building, just like you have leaders here, over the different things. This is your role, this is your role, this is your role, this is your role, this is your role. How can we put our hands together and make a better life for these kids? Next slide, please. So we're just going to go vision. It just tells you vision without action is. Let's go to the next one. I didn't realize some of the black writing would come out. So when we start talking about the things we're going to do and the changes that we're going to make, seeing is believing, because talk is cheap. We have to put our words into action and make a plan for what we're going to do. Next slide. Is that the last one for that one?
Yes.
Okay. So before we go into coaching to win, I want you to reflect on your role as leaders based on what I've said and that about things that we have to do. So if you had one takeaway from everything that I've said that I sit up in front of you, what would it be? No, don't volunteer. Yes.
Don't let what you see in front of you limit your view. Don't your overall.
Here. Stand up.
Okay. So let's go. Stop your overall view.
Okay, she said, don't let what you currently see be what is. Don't let that be the overall. Don't let that be your vision. Don't let that be the stopping point. You need to look beyond that to see what it could be. Very good, very good point. Thumbs up. Somebody else. I need a takeaway.
I got one.
Okay, sir.
Recognize the proposal and put my piece in it.
Okay, you recognize the puzzle that all this, we're all pieces of the puzzle. So put your piece in and make it fit into the grand scheme so we can put it all together. Love it. So I'm just going to box it up. So she told the mission of the church in the great. So we may serve the present age toward most physical, intellectual, social, and spiritual empowerment through teaching and missions. So, according to Dr. Robinson, what is important here at this branch of Zion is to God and God's people. So her role, I'm not going to try to assume her role. Her role is to help you as disciples to connect with God. But your role as the leaders is there to connect with people. And that's what each of you mentioned. How are you going to connect with people? So we've talked about a lot of things here. We talked about it doesn't matter where you are, it's where you to talk about how you're going to get there. And I asked the question at the beginning. I said, what's your why? What's your raison d'etre? What's your reason for being? Why are you here? What is your why? And I always tell people, my sister and I combined households after my husband passed away. And so we never lived together. We didn't even grow up together because I'm 15 years older than she. So now you can adjusted with each other. And there's a thing one way, fitness bug. I don't believe it. So I know that I have to be careful of what I pass and sweets. But I have to be very careful about what I'm eating. I have to make sure that I'm getting some exercise and everything. She wants the results, so she wants to be her level. I'm 5'8", she's 5'4". So mine is going to be camouflaged because of my height. But I tell you, but you can't get to where you want to be without the work. You just can't do it. And so we started talking about putting in the work. What are you going to do to get to where you want to be in terms of talk about your purpose of your now, how to get there. The people involved so that you're working toward what you want to do. Pause again. Icebreaker. So I have some like that come back. Just sort of get you up and moving. So I'm gonna go back to my say this again. I can do this there. You already know. You run on me. Okay. So, do we take people or watch? So, what you're going to do as a team is you're going to flip the tablecloth over on the other side without stepping off the tablecloth onto the floor. You step on the floor, you have to start over again. So let me get a ministry that's here. Let's get the youth ministry. Come on up. And then we'll get some. Then you choose somebody about that. You have to be honest. But I want to be forward looking, share with all of it. Right? So just choose 3 of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 more. And okay. And so now, Mr. Davis, let's let you choose which people get away with you. It can't be gotten above. Oh, man.
Latansia, where you going?
Okay, come on, Dr. Susan.
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute. Don't start there. Okay. Come on, Dr. Ryan. Okay. All right. That's your stage. Come on, sir. Okay. Wait until I say start. You are on the corner. everybody has a one. Well, yeah, it's like. So, if you step off the that's not over there. Okay, listen to me. So, the assignment is to quickly run over to the other side without stepping off the road. I say it again, then we need you to begin. So, begin. Yeah, go back. Step off. Step off, don't step on the floor. For you, start. You didn't, but okay. And key words, he said, we got to leave each other. I'm holding you up. We got to do that because sometimes you got to work together and you got to hold the person up. And then they kept encouraging. Because I thought she was going to talk a little longer. And he was like, I got you. So, technically, what you would have done, let me show you. And they figured it out. So, exactly. So you were on the corner. So you would have sort of stepped to, and then you start pulling from a corner. And you guys are moving with it. And then you step, as they did, this part, and you pull from under there.
Oh my God. All these.
Each person has to be and step up, just I didn't say you couldn't use your hands. I didn't say you couldn't do any of that. I didn't say you couldn't lean on each other. And sometimes you got to stand on one leg, but somebody else is gonna hold you up. And so and work is there. I can do anybody choosing who you going to. That's not the way to do it. So what you're gonna do is, but I always say that when you're trying to go and to achieve the same goal, then you have to talk about it. What are we gonna do? And sometimes as leaders, we don't have a participatory leadership style where we respect all participants. Sometimes it's my way or no way. And I'm a very strong-willed person, but I realized as soon as mentioned, I couldn't do it all by myself. So together, everyone achieves more. We do more, but we're going to try to do together. So that activity was just to stress the importance as a team. So you don't have to worry about that PowerPoint. So next thing was coaching to win.
Thank you.
Sports. And one of the winning coaches in basketball, said that you either play the players that you have or you build the team that you need. So everybody doesn't have a championship team, but you build the team that you have. I was listening. It's so funny how people fall from grace because 2 weeks ago, Tom Brady was the stuff. They were talking about Tom Brady. he's gonna do this, he's gonna take time to pay that rent, and then the day he lost, he's all up. Talking about this working as a team, and nobody's bigger than the team. So we started talking about what are you gonna do? How do we all do this? I have the utmost respect for coaches. You know, I used to tell my teachers, coaches can get kids to do anything that they need them to do, because those kids want to play that sport. And so they're gonna come to school, they're gonna do whatever they need to do so that they can play. Guys who don't even have neckties, we're gonna find neckties around Friday. If the coach says all the players have to wear neckties. But I find in the classroom, how do we get these kids to do what we need to do? So these aren't kids, these are grown folks. Worse than the kids. So how do we get the grown people not to do what we want to do, but to do what? To work toward the same vision, to work toward the same goal. How do you do that? So Jim Moody says, you either play the players that you have, and you take the people who are sitting in this room and try to hope that you will get the best, or you build the team that you need. You get people who can see things the way you see it, where you're listening. Some of you are listening, and I see the light bulb. And so, and so try to but I'm going okay. But you want to stay in. If you, how do you get to that boat and roar? Everybody's roaring in the same direction. How do you move the point? Hey, how do you create a culture? As Tim Collins said, the way to move, how do you move from good to great? Another Western said that in order to move from good to great, you have to, we expect success culture. When I tell you, the way we do the things that we do. So the way we do things is we do it in a way, the way we're doing things, we expect success. What's climate? Climate is how people feel about the way we do things. The people who come out to play every week, how do they feel about the way they are received when they come into the vestibule? How do they feel when they go into the sanctuary? And so that was the thing that I had to debate to my staff at Washington. We have got to make these kids feel like they are the most important people in the world to us. Because kids can tell when you're learning. And the pastor can tell when you have to get into peace. So what is it that we do in order to get that? We expect success. What does success mean to you? That's your why. What we're talking about is how. How do we get more young? Increase the what do we do with that? Somebody say, there you are. That makes it simple and good. If not, then I'm coming in here with knowing everything to do. I'm just coming in here trying to add for what you're doing to show you what you already have and to get you to work with that. Work with what you have to build what you need. So we're going to coach to win. How do you coach to win? Those people who are working with you say, this is the assignment. This is our mission. This is our goal. How do we get there? What are we going to do? Let's put our heads together. When I try to get you, put your hands together for that exercise. Let's put our heads together and see how can we be the best us that we can be. So what are we going to do? And the last PowerPoint would have been building a dream team. Now, how do you dream team? Do you remember they went to the in basketball, I'll tell you, I feel a dream team. How do you build a dream team? How do you get people? See, it's not enough to say, I'm gonna be on this board, I'm gonna be on that board, I'm gonna be on this there. So how do you, where you have a people who want the same thing that I'm talking about? How do you get that dream team? So what are you gonna do? So I'm not gonna poll you, okay, it's water right now, but I'm not gonna poll you about what you need to do in order to be better. But you already know. But I am here to help you decide what is it that you're gonna do. How do you move from, how do you create a we expect success culture? How do you do it? What is it that you're gonna do with it? So let's talk about what would have to take. So about what happened. You know, if I don't want you to just talk, and I want you to talk among yourselves at your group. And so what I am going to ask you, we talked about the why, so let's talk about the how. So let's talk among yourselves, and I want you to just tell me from each ministry, what's something that you see that you can do? Doesn't have to be anything grand or whatever, but what do you see as a result of this that you can do differently or that you can do better? Okay, so let's take about 5 minutes to check.
So, I think that I have a vision. Um, so that while it's printed, I don't get to say it enough. Post it. Don't need to post it. No, on social media, but it would not post it. It's not an everyday living. This is what I. All right, I perceive. So, hey, I'm here to grow too. Oh, that's so. Yeah, so I think that's key for me, and for those of you who are on, that's it. Something that we can do. Thank you.
Share vision is key.
Mm-hmm.
Something I can do is be present.
Present.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you've done. And you do you realize that you've done that intentionally? I think
Yes.
you have been much more present, which is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Share what can
Mm. I want to make the vision grow more. And if anybody wants to share online, feel free to do that. So I can't say yeah. I can say yeah. And I don't know how to. One of the things that I'm clear about is that one of the slides that she had was about, the leader's role is seeing the vision, right? And I always go back to the scripture, old men will dream dreams and young men will see visions. And you think about the worries. They and young dudes, sisters are always talking about what's to come. And there's always such a disconnect. She talked about alumni, right? There's always such a disconnect between how do we bridge that? How do we recognize that Sankofa of the power of the past?
communicate, sharing easily, and and being present, whatever whatever that might look like for being present.
Mhm. Yeah, because I think when I hear I know the mission, I know the mission statement is on our website, right? When we had bulletins, it was printed on every bulletin, right? But that has waned, right? And so perhaps it's time for us to really sit down and look to just to kind of look at that again, right? Yeah.
As leaders, put it together.
Hmm. Yeah. And I would love to be able to see, um, and I want every ministry to do that, right? Like there's like we can sit down as a church and talk about it, but I just so believe that everybody has a ministry. Like if you work your lane, right, that's your ministry. And I want my desire is that every leader, one, that everybody sees themselves as leaders, but also that everybody works their ministry. And I'm not just, as they say, blowing smoke, right? Like, but you came and said, I'm gonna try, right? I don't have to come to you and see if it's gonna happen. You come with I don't I'm sitting here because in the church we're seeing get now we don't have for that. And
On the routes, so
yeah, at the bank. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there some character building that we all need to do individually?
so it's coming to the same place from the same point. So yeah, it's definitely very back to that shared vision. Of, right, what does it look like in 2023? And that was 1990.
Right.
So uh,
New people, y'all welcome to new people. Y'all welcome to join. New people, y'all welcome to join.
Oh, that may come on.
What y'all want to see? What y'all want to see? What y'all want to see? Oh, y'all wrote stuff down. Oh, y'all did. Y'all. I mean, we just. I don't. What you write? Uh huh. Okay. Cool. Okay. Where you want to see the choir go and the music ministry go? Mhm. Yeah. Thank you, Pastor. Brother Antoine, that was your he was your spokesperson. He was your spokesperson. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Well, one of the things that I did say is that I think it is most important that I am communicating vision more widely and more broadly. See a lot in my, and it's hard for um, it's hard for to see in their head because other people cannot. It's like Caleb going in the back and saying, "I saw, I see much fruit, see abundance," and the other spies coming back saying, "Audience." Right? It's like they went to the same place. They were side by side walking, right? But they all saw something. They all saw something very different. And so I don't, yeah. So that's something that I think I can do is just have that Caleb spirit a little bit. Just continue to say it though. Say it, say it, say it. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The past, right? Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I've heard some good conversation. So let's just see, we talked about your why, right here. So let's talk about your how now. And what are some of the ways that you see that you can grow or some things that you can do differently? So Pastor, let's start with you.
So one of the pieces that I am very clear about is that it is most important that I am finding a way to articulate what I see in my head. Because I have a lot of browsers open in my head. What can that I'm articulating what I see, but also bringing us around the table to make sure that we are united on a mission and and also a common vision for for this body of Christ. Because I can always, like you said with the activities, right? There were no instructions, and so people make it up. And so if I'm not, and I'll say it this way, my vision is always, and I think this is something that is hard for other people to understand. My vision is always that other people walk in their vision. And so that's difficult because people are waiting for the pastor to say what's to be done. Right. So that's my,
That's a very good takeaway.
yeah.
Okay, so you agree, sir, you concur, you agree with her?
Yes, likewise, I'm a classroom teacher, so I have come, by experience, I have learned about modeling and knowing and being able to, I one is that just being present, even though it's so simple to a degree, but being prepared and present is another step. But just being present is my.
Okay, great takeaway. Good. What about the table over here? And if you want to pass, I'm not going to put you on the spot because that's not what this is about. So if you don't have anything to say, I'm going to give you the option to say pass.
We were talking about reaching out to our seniors
trying to make sure that they are aware of what's going on and how can we reach them on a regular basis. And we know that as a total, that's really changing the world. And we have to reach out to them where they are. And so it seems as though we would not. It's just simple.
I love that. You gotta be consistent.
Gotta be consistent. You can't go and visit portal. This is an important entity of people that we're working with. So that's what we were trying to look out for. We have a lot of people that are transitioning on to glory. Yes, we want to reach out to the people that, the youth people that are moving into the neighborhood, but the consistency is the main thing that we.
And seniors want what as a senior, but certainly I'm a very active senior, but there are some of my contemporaries who more than anything miss that human contact or that somebody reaching out to say, hey, you know, I'm here, I care. And that's what discipleship is about.
One of the persons online said we must acknowledge that we can change and look for next and really be in prayer that God will lead us.
Okay.
That type of construction time that they.
It doesn't have to be. Do you? Yeah, do you?
Okay, so my thing is more of to have more peer-to-peer instead of adults.
Okay.
My other thing is to create opportunities for them, give them an outlet that will bring them in, you know, that hopefully will create opportunities and with them opportunities, it'll create growth.
And sometimes they can talk better to each other than us talking to them, you know, on their own level. Like that being, you know, can be heard also. Okay. That's it from that table.
Because during this time, those have been changed quite a bit from things that don't.
Yeah.
And those people have to go outside. Even if we have this, we have to be able to do the consequences. So we have to be vigilant on behavior versus action. So we have to really figure that out. Now, all the people who are reading, born adults, start repeating to their seats. Other than the time when you actually come to the church, and start praying, our scripture here, but we have to really just be here and now.
Yeah.
I think what you issue of the even though the responsibility and the importance of the role, and then go forward and do the rush. So, people that have the text message, by the level of act.
Okay.
But I'm sure that we can do that.
Okay. And you might want to do, you know, sororities and fraternities do reclamation efforts all the time. And you try to go back and reclaim those people who fall by the wayside, who are not active. And you can just see, not everybody that's inactive, you know, you may not want everybody that's inactive back. I mean, that's so what about that. Let me be real. So you. Exactly. Okay, great. What about to say?
So one of the things we talked about, specifically of leaders, we talked about the importance of think about example modeling. So we use the Bible as one of our tools for building leadership. In Paul says, whatever you've learned, you've seen, you've received, you've heard, put it to practice. And that demonstration of modeling is really important if we're trying to make sure that we're building teams that are also.
Exactly.
And so that's really important for us. In that respect, we talk about being prepared. When we are face to face with those that are on our team, we are ready to meet the task for our ministry of music and media, like as a choir director, I need to be prepared when I get my Christian. They always different that they didn't have to do. So really keep locking into seeing the tree, the path that you see the trees, the direction that we see.
Exactly. Love it. That's a very good point. Very good takeaway. Okay, great. Good saving. We save events for that.
That we need to continue to train. That's one thing I found last night, I'm sure, so that we have, you keep going. Okay. I said continual training first, and then we regularly look for uh, develop a counting team, develop and present a balanced budget, regular updates to the congregation, not just on what is coming in or going out, but exactly where the money is going. Because people always have questions, no matter what you say, but I think if you present it differently, they will understand it better. Show the results of what I'm doing and what it has meant to us in terms of outreach. Because people love to know that they're helping others, and begin to emphasize that the finances are as much a ministry as anything else in the church. Okay, so Dr. Susan, anything that you want to add to this? Because I want to wrap up. Yield to you.
Okay, thank you. Just thank you, Dr. Kilgore. I appreciate you. We have heard much, and I think this helped us to be a little different tonight in our teaching and learning. But one of the things that there is nothing in me that believes at all, hear me now, that I have to do it by myself. Let me tell you what. But Africa has been here a long time. Africa was here before y'all were here. Right? Africa got here before y'all were here. And guess what? Our responsibility is to be good stewards for the time that we have. Matthew 25, about the story about the talents, right? I listened to this sermon this week. And when I tell you it shifted something in me. Y'all know TJ is just a master at insight in scripture, right? And I have heard that and read that scripture time and time again about the time, right? We need to study the Bible. One thing you said today, Dr. Kilgore, is that people, sometimes the leader doesn't tell you what to do, right? In that scripture, the master never told told his servants, his slaves, depending on what you read, right? Never told his servants what to do with the money or the talent, whatever it is. Never told them what to do with it. But once he gave them the money, because in the scripture it's actually money, right? But once he gave them the money, they were no longer servants. They were no longer slaves. They were stewards. They were stewards over what had been given unto them, right? And then as stewards, y'all know the story? How many of y'all know that story? Like, did everybody have a return, bring a return? No, because there was one that said, depart. He said, depart from me, slave to serve, right? He remained a servant, but the other two became stewards because they had discernment. They understood that they had been given a gift and that their responsibility with the gift was to multiply it. Have y'all heard the term, leave it better than you found? You run a whole household, you take care of yourself, you run a bank account, that whether you know well or not, you still do it. Right? Because a lot of people don't do well with money in the church, they don't do money well in their own household. Right? But be clear, I trust each and every one of you. And I would rather you just go and pay. I trust you, but I trust you because I trust God. And God's not going to let you do anything that brings dishonor to Allen Temple at the Episcopal Church. That's not the God I serve. The God I serve wants us to prosper. I serve came so that we might have life and life more abundantly. The God I serve came so that he might go and do what? Likewise, right? Because God, Jesus modeled, so that we go and model. And so, if I can leave this student, something God gave us, explain to do you trust yourself? You trust yourself? Yeah. Right? Some people may not, and I understand that you're growing, right? But if you don't trust your abilities, are you growing in your ability? Are you looking for opportunities for it? That's all I want. I want to work myself out of a job. That's my job. That was always my job as an SA, work myself out of a job. Because by the time I got to second semester, the classroom ran by itself. Did it not kill me? She came to the door one day and the children got up and went to the door and said, and she said, "Ooh, child, I'm trying to talk." She said, well, you know, I was raised there. Well, Miss Green is doing X, Y, Z, and she's working on this, and we are doing this. So she can't talk to you right now. Am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth? Right? That's what I'm doing. Work myself out of job so I can do something because I was teaching. I didn't have time to stop. And it comes to the point. We don't have time to come back and say a lot into Bible. I'm not calling you to say a lot into Bible. But we don't have time to come back because God is building something like you. And God is doing it. So I took notes on what you said. I took notes on even what was not said, right? But I'm always open for you to say it to me so that we can move forward. But we most assuredly had great discussion. Why, Allison? Because I have not seen, and ears has not heard Neither has it entered into our heart what the Lord has done.
Is for a group of people to do a task. I just was interested in some perspective, like on that concept of, let's say, even though I might not do something, but leading, how do you say, okay, you have to model for people to do. And just, I'm just curious.
I get your question. I was an instructional coach. I don't do math, right? And I just say that. I'm sorry. I just don't do math. But I was an instructional coach. I'm not a scientist, but I was an instructional coach for social. Yeah, y'all get back. Because I know that the math teacher knows math and the science teacher knew science. That was their gifted. That's what they studied. My responsibility is not to teach you what you know or to lead you in what you know. My responsibility is to help us merge it so that you learn the skills to be able to impart it. Does that make sense? So as an instructional coach, as a pastor, my role is not to do what you do. I'm not a man. I'm not going to teach men how to be men. That's not my responsibility, right? I'm not standing at the door and welcoming people to come in because that's not my responsibility. I'm not getting up there and saying, right, that's not my responsibility. I'm not going to run a youth ministry. That's not my responsibility. But you have that gift for this. You're a drawer. I tell you that all the time, don't I? You draw people to you, right? You have that ability because you have people on your heart. Y'all can sing and do all of that. It's wonderful. I can't play piano. I can't play any of those instruments. You know how to do that, right? And I can certainly work with children, but my responsibility, that's what the pastor's responsibility is. What's the pastor's primary responsibility? What's a pastor's primary responsibility? The preach is the Lord. His responsibility. And if somebody got to keep coming to the priest and ask the question, then the priest can't do what the priest is supposed to do. And you're really not doing what you're supposed to do and what you've been anointed to do. So if that makes sense, so it's not my job to do, that's not the role. My role is not to teach you, it's not to teach you your ministry, but to provide a structure in which you can do. And encouragement and put things and put the parameters around so that you are able to move in that anointing. Did that answer the question?
Okay. But what I heard was cultivating a culture of success.
Yes. And that takes everybody being their own successful, right? Because our job is to make Allen Temple shine. I'm not the pastor. Allen Temple, right? You know, that same team that Dr. Kilgore talked about, people started calling Booker T. Washington High School to ask us, how are our children getting millions of dollars in scholarships? It wasn't North Atlanta. It wasn't great. It was Booker T. Washington High School. That it wasn't Douglas. It wasn't made. It wasn't. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. But we just had systems in place. So we go back to our systems in operation. We had systems in place. So our children walked away from that school with millions of dollars in scholarship. APS called to find out how do you do what you do. And guess what? That's the same thing that is happening with you all. And y'all don't know. Wait till we sit there and turn on. I promise you, we talked about that, right? Nobody is doing that. Nobody does that. Nobody does that in churches like we're planning to do. Nobody does that. You know why? Because it's only a few people that look at the money.
Oh,
Most often. And that's how it has been in a long time. No, really to the table, this year. You bring to the table this year. And to do that is a personal growth thing. Okay? I thank you for thank you for getting everything out today. I appreciate you. For those of you who came back, I appreciate you for that meaningful thank you. I'm glad that you able to come back. For those of you who've been working all day, amen, somebody. For y'all retired folks, and this is a party, and y'all need to celebrate. God is good. Dr. Kilgore, thank you so much for leading us. I appreciate you. I very much appreciate you and all your gifts and talents. Let us pray. God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you, bless you, we give you the highest praise. We thank you, God, for all of who we are. For God, you created us and you know everything about us. And so, God, where there are some edges, God, smooth them out. And so we thank you, God, Lord, for every bit of our life and living it. And we ask right now, God, that you just continue to grow us in your grace and in your knowledge, that we might work as a team, that we might, as Dr. Kilgore said, grow in the same direction, and that we understand that we are working. We ask them. Yeah. The